Ayo, keep it high, keep it tight. It's Jay Morse, the review guy, back to bring you another review for an album. And this was one of my most anticipated releases of the year, right alongside the album that Dance Gavin Dance released, Artificial Selection. And when I heard the singles off this album and heard just how tight the construction of the songs that I was hearing were made for, and the instrumentation and the vocalization, I was so excited to see what this band was going to be able to deliver with this album. So, of course, we are talking about Impending Doom's new album entitled The Sin and Doom Volume 2. So, they are a Christian deathcore band, and I can't say that I know many of those. I know that there are pretty much Christian bands in every type of genre, but this band, they're not just like practicing Christians that make deathcore music. These are actual people that are Christians that incorporate that into their lyricism. And I think that is really cool. As someone who's a Lutheran, I really can appreciate that in their music they're putting that type of kind of lyricism in, that type of message, and they put it in such a way that this album kind of roars out about how this world is godless, how so many people kind of don't understand the value of religion, and it deals with different topics such as like the world as a whole and how people are so separated and how they're so not only different but violent, and they're from track to track. These lyrics, if you read along with them, you'll notice that these are very heavily charged lyrics when it comes to religion and when it comes to just violence and just stances on the world. And I highly suggest that even if you're not religious, giving this album a try, because it really will give you a new perspective, because the way that they put it is not just the normal way that you would consider, I don't know, a gospel song or something along those lines, maybe a song from like NF. No, they do this in such a way that it goes alongside of the music. And for that, I have to give a lot of kudo points, because they do something that a lot of people can't do in metal music. And there are plenty of Christian metal bands, a lot of which I do enjoy. But Impending Doom, to be playing one of the most abrasive, loud, heaviest genres there are, and to be able to incorporate this lyricism and this message and still have a ton of fans, it's awesome. And it goes to show you how many Christians are into this type of music, because they are one of the only deathcore bands that have hit the Billboard Top 200 fairly high. And to be honest, I have to say, this album to me, it almost gives a new spin entirely on the whole idea of deathcore. And I have been a bit worried going into this year, because I didn't know if there were going to be many deathcore bands that were going to be releasing things. And to be fair, the past few years, deathcore's had a kind of weak time, with Suicide Silence releasing a dud, and Whitechapel's album being kind of questionable. And you had bands like Veil of Maya, bands like Born of Osiris, that were swapping their style to a more metalcore sound. And it was kind of all shaping up to be kind of sad. But Chelsea Grin's new album is going to be coming out on the 13th of July, I believe. And this album came out yesterday. No, not yesterday. It came out June 22nd, I believe. And it succeeds. That's pretty much what I can say, is that the song The Wretched and the Godless, or Wretched and Goddess, Godless, and that song, it's pretty short. It runs about in the high 2 minutes, I believe, and it's the starting song on the album. It was a single that they released. It was actually a single that they released for the album. They released 3 singles. It was I think it was 3 singles. I know they released War Music and The Wretched and Godless, and did they do another? I can't really remember because I was really into The Wretched and the Godless. But that song is so powerful, and for someone that is a Christian, the lyrics in that song are so powerful. I mean, there's one line where it's just over this slow breakdown where it's just chugging, and the vocalist just screams out, "Sometimes I wouldn't blame God if he lit the world on fire." Like, it's just this song about how people are so devoid of religion and so atheistic and agnostic where logic doesn't apply. And it really speaks to me to listen to music that is of the type of genre that I am primarily really into, and to hear lyrics that go the extra mile to kind of scream out about how just basically that whole lyric. And it goes on throughout the album. You got track number 3, War Music, which I know was another single that they released. I almost did a track review of that, and I think I might have actually recorded it. But I remember that I made a track review for that. I don't think I posted it, though, because it was the type of thing where I would prefer to just wait and see. Now, I did release the Chelsea Grin See You Soon track review, but I wanted to kind of leave Impending Doom to simmer, and I wanted to prepare myself to listen to the whole album and give my critique appropriately, thus giving this review that you are hearing and seeing. Well, this album proves to me that there are still great deathcore bands that are producing music that is of high echelon with great breakdowns that, yes, they're deathcore breakdowns, but at the same time, they are in the right place. They sound great. They sound as good as this band has ever done, and this band is in top form. And personally, I think this might be my favorite album from the band. And I've been a fan of Impending Doom for a while, but this album instates them as one of my favorite deathcore bands, period, if they weren't already, because of their message and because of their music. But the vocals on this album, that's something I was kind of wanting to point out. They are just, a lot of times, see, deathcore bands like to go into these high shrieked vocals. And Impending Doom, a lot of times, they stick to the low gutturals. Just the, ooh, just like the way down there. That was a bad, I'm sorry, I'm really sorry about that. But, they stick to the low gutturals a lot, and when they are just roaring it out, I'm not sure of the lead vocalist's name, but when he is just roaring these just heavily charged lyrics out amongst these great instrumentals and blast beats and breakdowns, and he's just roaring these out in these low, down-pitched gutturals, it's such a great experience for anyone that likes this music, and I am so excited to see what this band can do in the future because they are keeping up quality. And hopefully Chelsea Grin's album can do a lot in the realm of deathcore. But, I mean, honestly, even if Chelsea Grin's album turns out to be weak or a dud, I'm not really going to care because I have a really good deathcore album here that just released now anyway. So, give me your thoughts on this album. Like, comment, subscribe. It helps me out a lot. If you comment down below and like the video, I'll give you a shout out. My name is Jay Morris, the review guy, and I'm signing off saying farewell. Where's my hat? Oh. Oh no, what your mama gonna say when I tell her that I broke no heart? It's just things not the way that they used to be.